And this week, I want to talk about templating. Hello and welcome back to my weekly videos to help you elevate your video game and make it really fun and memorable. I am a video editor, creator, creative director, and also coach, helping businesses really step into their video fantasticness. Is that a thing? I don't know. Nah, let's make it a thing. Because video is such a fun tool and people actually love watching video more so than just looking at text or photos, which is understandable because there's lots going on and you can use that to your advantage to make people really hooked on your brand through the emotional factor that is video, because you can combine all of the cool aspects through evocative text, through really vibrant visuals, and music transports people to different places and makes them feel things. Yeah, so use that. And last week we talked about the power of color and why you shouldn't use color correction if you want to level up your videos, make them much smoother, much more professional. And this week, I want to talk about templating because it makes your life so much easier. Don't you just want to work easy? Work hard, not smart. I love that. So here is my tip. I want you to create a template. You can do that in your video editing program if you use it. You can write it down, so you can maybe even give it to your VA if they do the videos for you. And the idea behind this is that it saves you time. It saves you thinking about it because you don't have to constantly rethink your video because it just is not necessary. So what goes into having a template? A template could be like an actual file that you just open and then put all your stuff into and work with. Or like I said, you can write it down and you have guidelines, like a briefing for yourself or others. And the idea is that you can structure your video. So you have a grid to work with and so know exactly what kinds of videos you need to shoot. And it helps you tick off those boxes, especially if you're on YouTube. You always forget your call to action, or you always forget to say subscribe and follow for more, all of that. So you know exactly when you need to film it, when you need to put it. And it helps really establish consistency, which helps your audience recognize you and create familiarity with you, and also, builds expectations and feels really coming home. People like familiarity. They don't want to be shocked all the time. They don't want to be confused. They don't want to be searching in every video. If they already know you have a grid, you have an outline, then they can easily skip to parts they need. Yes, you shouldn't train them to skip around. But it also helps just, user experience, keeping them in mind. So for your template, you want to start with the introduction. What are the first 5 seconds to get people hooked? This goes mostly for YouTube and any website video you have, but also it's important for your clips on Reels, on TikTok. How do you get people hooked? Do you show a very short summary, an introduction, a composite of different clips that really establish the content and the vibe? Or is it some provocative question that you start with? Or maybe a blooper you start with? What is something that throws people into your video and also makes them want to stay? Maybe you promise a specific deliverable, a specific tip, and then you're going to deliver that at the end. But tell people that so they know what to expect and they're not angry about it. People don't like clickbait, okay? Right after you've established your introduction, you want to figure out where to put your logo. Do you want to put it right after the introduction? Do you put it at the end, or do you put it in both places? Is it going to be a full-on animated sequence, or maybe just your logo that's moving, or is it just your handles? What comes next? How do people know it's you? Might just be your typical catchphrase. Could be. And also, next you want to figure out where to put all of your handles or those who show up in the video. When do you put them on the screen? Then that also goes in line with your branding. What kind of font you use, what kind of text you use. Is there going to be a bar behind it so it's easy to read? Is there going to be a side block popping into the frame with lots of information of how people can work with you, or where they can find a product, or what the prices are, or any kind of information you want to share? How does that show up in the frame? How does it How is it something that people can read very easily, but also looks like you and your branding and your design, right? And next, I want you to figure out how the outline is going to be, what the structure is. Do you have a main point? And you introduce that as well. And then you introduce maybe the following points, or do you jump right into the points? And then you have like a summary for each point. Maybe that's even a text overlay on the screen, or do you have an end summary that maybe also a text overlay on the screen to really show visually what you're saying. You can say that like as a voiceover, but also have text to show what you're saying, so you really help everybody, because some people don't watch with sound, right? Especially if you go on places like Facebook or Instagram, people don't watch with sound. So you want to make sure you have subtitles or the option to enable subtitles. And when you think about the subtitles, you also want to think about leaving space for them, right? So your lower third should be empty. When you create your video templates, keep that in mind. So you want to already have certain preset text boxes that are already animated, and so you just need to change the text every single time you use a new video. That's why you need a template, so you don't have to create all the settings, all of the colors, all of the positions and animations all over again. You just figure it out once. Okay, it's coming in from the right, it's gonna fade, or it's gonna dramatically whoosh. Maybe it even has a sound effect to it. Do that once, save that for the next videos, and just copy and paste that. Just copy and paste that. It's so much easier. And also you wanna figure out your call to action. I usually recommend doing it twice. So one in the beginning, maybe when you introduce yourself and the topic of the video, and then one at the end so people know to like and subscribe and follow you and leave a comment, because you need to tell them that. They don't automatically do it. Yes, they know they should, but they don't necessarily do it. Just, tell them gently. You can make it your own thing, the own way you phrase it, and it's recognizable and it's a fun way, or you can just do the typical like, subscribe and follow for more, that kind of thing. And last but not least, you want to have an end sequence. Do you again show your clips like as a summary? Do you show an actual summary? Do you show a breakdown of the main clips, like mirroring the intro? And also, do you have an end card if you go on YouTube, or if you use Reels and you want people to encourage to jump on your website or jump on your YouTube channel? Do you have the wording on the screen, the call to action? And that's it. I hope you liked my video tips. If you did, leave me a comment, let me know what you liked or what you would like to see more of. And don't forget to follow me and enable notifications so it actually shows up in your feed. And I will see you next week for another video tip. Until then, bye.